Hey everybody, this is Bobbie Seller. I'm here with Robert Herjavec from ABC's hit show Shark Tank. Robert, good morning.
Hey Bobbie, thanks for talking to me today.
Listen, I really appreciate you coming out here. I'm a big fan. I think what you're doing is amazing here and the opportunities that you offer young entrepreneurs and people with startup companies. I myself come from an immigrant family, and I built my fortune myself, and I was raised in Brooklyn, New York with no opportunity, and a lot of people and a lot of viewers say that they're really stuck in their environment, and if their parents didn't go to college and they weren't spoon-fed, there's no real way to climb out of that. And you built a massive fortune. So
yeah, it's true. When I started out, everybody said to me, you'll never make it because you're a dumb immigrant, right? And my dad worked in a factory. He was a blue-collar worker. And when I started on business, everybody said it's not what you know, it's
who you know.
And to make money, you need what?
To have some money, some capital.
Well,
right.
My dad was a factory worker, swept floors. My mom was a receptionist, and we had no money. So I didn't look at that as a problem. It was simply an obstacle. And so I said, well, if I don't know anybody that I want to meet or that wants to meet me, I just got to become that guy. And it's remarkable that in this environment, you can do it.
How did you, where did that fire come from? What inspired you to want to just break out and say, I'm going to do this myself, regardless of any obstacle in my life?
Yeah, I think the first myth is people always do it for the money. I think to work that hard, work 24 hours a day, you got to want to be successful. You got to want to do it for a reason other than a paycheck. For me, my parents escaped from communism. It's very melodramatic, but I came here on a boat. So if I didn't become successful, I felt like I didn't justify their lives. And so I had a greater goal. It's the same reason people go in the military. It's the same reason people serve their country. You got to want to do it for a reason that's greater than you.
I completely understand. My grandfather was in the Holocaust and escaped here and had a chicken farm in New York.
So how do you hear that in life and don't wake up every day and want to do a little bit better? I don't think anybody wakes up and says, I want my life to suck today.
I think that we all have this passion inside us. I know my parents split when I was very young, and I came to a decision where if I was ever going to do anything for myself, I would have to get it myself. And one of my earliest memories, I was 3 years old in a lawyer's chair when my parents were getting divorced, and the law for me shifted my life, and I realized the power it had for me, and I knew that it could change my life in another way, and that's one reason why I went in that direction. So it's really been, for me, it's definitely been an amazing opportunity to really overcome every obstacle, and I get stronger and stronger over time.
But people, Bobbie, always talk about desire, and I think a lot of people out there have the desire, but just like you, I think there's a difference between desire and taking action.
Sure.
Like, everybody wants something better, but very few people are willing to pay the price. And I love environments like this, like the seminar. I mean, you've got to go out there and you've got to get the tools, but it starts with you. If you're not willing to take the action to go down that road, it's never going to happen.
And you have to be creative, I think, right? You can't just take a stagnant business or compete with other people. You almost come into a realm of your own if you could put your own creativity into it. How have you done that with building these massive fortunes in these companies and been creative and different than your competitors?
That's a great question. People always complain about, I don't have enough money, I'm competing with really big companies. But you've just got to find a different way. So when we started our first high-tech business, we became known not as the best technology company, but as the guys or the girls who always answer the phone faster.
Interesting.
So I said to people, look, we don't have the infrastructure and the money to compete with the big guys, so let's do service better. We had a rule. If the phone rang, it had to be answered within 3 rings, no matter what. And it seems funny and small, but our customers like that. They say, hey, if I call those guys, I'm going to get my phone answered right away. If somebody wanted a quote, we guarantee them we give them the quote by the end of the day, by 5 o'clock. So you can always differentiate. Great service always has a role in any company.
I love that. I think that's a great model, especially today with the automated systems. You couldn't even get somebody if you wanted to buy something.
You got to stand out. You got to stand out. Every day there's millions of people trying to do what we're talking about, but you got to find a way to stand out.
And how do you stay hungry? You've gotten level of success, everything's great, private jets, beautiful family, vacations anywhere. How do you do it? What drives you still to this day?
I think the moment you think you're successful is probably the beginning of the end. I mean, I just, I wake up every day and I think, how do I do better than the day before? And, you're right, you get to a point where you don't need more money. I mean, you can always buy a bigger plane or a bigger car or nicer things, but you just got to go out there and want to compete. I think if you don't want to compete, you're going to have a hard time winning.
I started about 3 years ago. I started my law firm with $37 on a credit card, and within the first year I had $150,000. Second year was about over $1 million, and last year grossed over $25 million. But I always remember that $37 in the credit card, and it was really something. It was an amazing experience because I let go of all fear, all worry, and I said, you know what, screw it. I'm just going to go for it, and I have nothing to lose. And I think sometimes in life, when you're pinned against a corner, you have to come out fighting.
Oh, you got it. I think people either hit the bottom and jump up, or they just drown. My whole goal in life was to buy a Ferrari. And so I bought a Ferrari, and then I realized, what do I do after that? You got to build a great business.
Well, Robert, I want to thank you very much for coming out today and meeting with us, and wish you all the success in life and family and everything else that follows.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you.